Hi Leo, thank you so much for checking out the channel. We are officially 4 months old. How thrilling, that's so exciting. Please remember to subscribe, to comment, and to like this video, as well as check me out on Facebook and Instagram at claire.voyant.queen and Twitter at _Claire_voyant. I would greatly appreciate it. Please also remember that I read energy in and around you. This could apply to you, but this also could apply to your partner. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Please also check out your other placements, such as your sun, your moon, your rising, and your Venus for more messages and more content. But thank you so much for watching. Hi Leo, welcome to your November 2020 love and relationship reading. Let's jump right in. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. So weird, while I'm shuffling, it just got incredibly bright in the room. So I don't know if that's a sign, but take it as you will. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Leo for November of 2020. Tell me about Leo. Okay. Feels nice and shuffled, but a couple more. Tell me about Leo. 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 November 2020. Tell me about Leo. November of 2020. Leo for November of 2020. Okay, this feels nice and shuffled. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Children, your love life is being affected by children. This could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Okay. When I drew the children card, children, your love life is being affected by children, I immediately thought about someone might be pregnant, or there could be a pregnancy involved here. So that could apply to you, that could not apply to you, but it felt oddly specific, so I wanted to say it. Also, we have two cards here that already indicate that you know someone that is either returning or you know this romantic partner personally. You have, this could be the one, you've already met the romantic partner you seek, and reconciliation, someone from your past is returning to your life. So this feels almost like a connection that you've already experienced, that you've already been acquainted with. It feels like it's almost like a newer connection, but it feels like it's like almost chapter 2 of an old connection, if that makes sense. Let's start pulling some animal spirit cards and we'll kind of dive into what this is telling us. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Leo. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Leo. Ooh, I'm going to take this. We have the unicorn. That's come out a couple times. Tell me about Leo. Leo. Leo for November of 2020. Leo. November of 2020. Couple more shuffles. Tell me about Leo. Leo for November of 2020. Okay, Leo. Leo, you are the rabbit. Interesting. Your partner is the elk. Beautiful. In your emotional connection, we have the lion. There you are, Leo. There we are, Leo. Leo the lion. Look at that. Pretty wild. I love when that happens. And then in your physical connection, we have the gazelle. Wow. Okay. One thing that I'm already seeing right now is the color red. Obviously, when I think of the color red, I think of fire, and when I think of fire, I think of Leo. But like, look at all these like colors, right? We have this like beautiful red orange color with a little bit of yellow. Again, red orange with a little bit of yellow. A beautiful red color, a little bit of purple. And then there's that red, orange, yellow color again. So like, I keep feeling like this reading is for you, and something to do with like heat, something to do with fire, right? We do have 2 cards of fire on the board with Leo, the lion, in your emotional connection, and the gazelle in your physical connection. And we also have 2 very earthy energies with the rabbit and the elk, and you and your partner. And the unicorn wanted to come up earlier, so I took it. But let's go ahead. We'll start off with the rabbit. I like to read from the book so you get all of the information you can. Let's see here. The rabbit. Okay, Leo, this is you. Afraid of everything, overwhelmed, frozen. The rabbit loves to remind his friends that someday the eagle will swoop down and eat him. He talks and talks and talks about it, so loudly, in fact, that one day the eagle hears this and thanks him for the great idea. Rabbit energy is alive when we are scared, most often about the future, and we become our own worst enemy. We spin up a dust cloud of fear and then complain to others that we are lost. Notice your thoughts and words, O rabbit. They shape your destiny. This energy is a little bit disconcerting. If we are going off of this idea that we're experiencing some sort of past connection coming back in, some sort of reconciliation coming back in, it does kind of feel as though you might be hesitant, you might be nervous, you might be kind of, you could almost be, that's interesting, I'm hearing that you could almost be manifesting this. It's like, very similar to how they describe the rabbit, as he talks and talks and talks about, the eagle swooping down and like taking him. It could be you like thinking and thinking and thinking about this person is coming back to your life, but you're also very like hesitant about it. So it's almost like you're kind of manifesting maybe manifesting a situation or manifesting a relationship that you don't actually wish to manifest, which is kind of interesting. So pay attention to your thoughts, pay attention to your words, pay attention to your actions when it comes to this connection, because I feel like you're almost very fearful and very nervous of it, is what it feels like. We also have this elk energy in your partner. Let's go for that. This is really interesting to me. I feel like this reading might be very, very specific and might appeal to a select few of you. But we have the elk, right? Stable, resilient, headstrong, the father. The great elk represents the earth element in its masculine form. This means it provides underlying support and stability among life's many changes. An elk personality, whether male or female, is fully established in themselves and knows their core values. They become known and respected for acting in ways that uphold those values. Sometimes the elk's ego can become inflated, but for the most time, they make damn good fathers, mothers, lovers, and friends. The world needs more elk energy. What's really interesting about this is this almost feels like I'm strongly getting this impression of a past relationship that was either like a marriage or some sort of very, very strong commitment. And it almost feels like there was a divorce or there was a breakup that somehow involves children. Like children were a really big part in this like divorce or this breakup, right? And it feels like this is like the masculine father energy that is responsible for these children. This is why I think this reading is very specific and only will apply to a very few of you. But I do think that's interesting that's coming up, and I feel like there's some sort of like resurgence of this relationship, some sort of reconciliation of this relationship, and I think you're almost like, it's weird that you're almost like manifesting this relationship back in, but it almost feels like you're very nervous and very hesitant about doing so. It's very, very odd. But it feels like there's something involving some sort of like past divorce, past breakup involving children here. That's like ringing true to me for some reason. And then we have the Lion and your emotional connection. Let's go ahead and read about the Lion. It's funny too, when I think about, I'm a Scorpio, and when the Scorpion card comes up, I essentially already know what, the Scorpion's about. And so the same could apply to you with the Lion, right? Being a Leo, you might already know what this Lion card is about. But it is, in your emotional connection, we have the Lion. Patient, regal, a complete master. The Lion is the master of the fire element, right? We talked about fire element too. This could have been a very passionate connection, is what I'm hearing. Fire element and the living mascot of self-transformation. A Lion personality dedicates their life to personal and spiritual growth. This dedication inspires some and intimidates others. Therefore, the Lion is respected by all, but known intimately by few. Some mistake the Lion as hard to access or aloof, yet those with a keener eye know better. Lions are observant, stealth, and precise in their words and actions. They do not waste energy or resources. This card reminds us that self-mastery is available to all, no matter where our quest begins. I really think this card is here for a couple reasons. I think one, this card came up because it wanted to essentially clarify that yes, this reading is for you, Leo. You are meant to listen to, you're meant to watch this reading. But I also think that it came up too because I am noticing a little bit of like a predator-prey dynamic here with the Lion and with the Gazelle. Like, the Lion's a really, really beautiful card, right? It really talks about patience. It really talks about like this regal quality. It really talks about self-transformation, right? But for some reason, I'm really not feeling that on the board, even though it's present. This to me immediately suggests like predator and prey, right? And even the rabbit talking about, the eagle, talking about the story with the eagle swooping down and grabbing him, right? Talks about a predator and prey dynamic. There's a couple like almost hints to predator and prey like in this reading. And so it feels like, predator and prey could have played a role in this past connection, in this past relationship. Predator and prey could play a role in this current relationship. And that might be essentially why we're a little bit hesitant, why we're a little bit fearful here, why we're kind of almost like subconsciously manifesting this relationship back in. But it's very, very interesting. This is very interesting. I'm really getting that this is like some sort of fatherly figure, whether they're like, they have a lot of masculine energy, whether they're a man or a woman, but it feels like a very fatherly energy. Let's go to the Gazelle and your physical connection. We'll talk a little bit about the unicorn, and then we'll wrap it up and go into some tarot. Let's see here. The Gazelle. Heightened awareness and ability. Vulnerable. The Gazelle represents supreme grace. With every move, this awe-inspiring beauty emits sophistication and elegance. Gazelle personalities are often hyper-aware of their surroundings, bordering on hyper-vigilant. This can inhibit them from enjoying the beauty they've spent so much effort cultivating. No more worrying about all those predators. There's that word again, predator. All those predators out there in the wild. When this card appears, it's time to get back to the present moment. Sit down, find your breath, and acknowledge the bounty that surrounds you. Let it nourish your gentle spirit. I feel like this is a device. This is a device regarding this connection to essentially allow the situation to play out as it needs to play out versus overthinking it. I think that's essentially what it is. But, especially with like the heightened awareness, like the vulnerability, like like being hyper vigilant, hyper aware, right? It feels very akin to that rabbit energy. So that's kind of interesting. And I feel like they're asking you to take a step back, to take a breather, and allow the situation to play out as it needs to play out. Last but not least, we have the unicorn card that wanted to kind of fly out towards the beginning. So let's go ahead and read that. This card has actually appeared a couple times. This is, I want to say, at least the third time that it's appeared. It might have appeared 4 times already. But it really talks about like our third eye and our psychic intuition. But unicorn, reconnecting to higher wisdom or divinity. It's difficult to see, hear, or think of a unicorn without immediately questioning if it's real. Did they ever exist? Perhaps long, long ago. The mind answers maybe, or it could be, or no way. This very contemplation explains our relationship with divinity, and it encapsulates our wavering belief in the unicorn. We wonder what divinity is. We wonder where our intuition comes from, and if we can really trust it. We think about a higher power, and our mind hesitates between yes, no, and maybe. Is it male or female? Does it have a name? Is it just a feeling? The unicorn card appears and wakes us up to curiosity about the higher self and the divine. It is a card of questioning, exploring, and contemplating the inexplicable. The mind's eye knows there is something beyond our day-to-day lives, a deeper dimension to our experiences. The mind's eye reaches and reaches and reaches out to grasp something more. You are the unicorn, and you've begun your quest for the answers. This might be, kind of when I typically pull a card during a shuffling process or something like that, I usually kind of put it off to the side as kind of like a general note versus like something specific. So it could just be referencing the fact that, even the lion was kind of deemed as a little bit more spiritual, right? There was like a spirituality quality to the lion. So it feels like this might just be a very, very close, very, very psychic, very, very intuitive connection that you guys share here. And I would imagine, if this is some sort of like past relationship where you've had children with this person, I would imagine that it would be fairly close, it would be fairly intuitive. But it feels like someone's coming back, and I feel like you are a little bit hesitant, Leo. I feel like you're a little bit hesitant here. You're very nervous, is what it feels like. And I think the universe is just asking you to, chill out, take a breather, allow the situation to play out as it needs to play out. Let's go ahead, let's pull some tarot. We'll kind of clarify what's on the board, and we will wrap it up. Okay. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Tell me about Leo. Leo. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Leo. Leo for November of 2020. One more good shuffle. Tell me about Leo. Leo. Ooh. Tell me about Leo. Leo for November of 2020. Okay. Ooh, okay. Page of Wands in reverse wanted to fly out. Tell me about Leo for November of 2020. Leo. Ooh, my goodness. My goodness. We also had the Three of Cups come out. Leo for November of 2020. Leo. Okay. Oh my goodness, I can't take all these. What are you doing? We just had the King of Swords come out. Leo for November of 2020. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Leo, in your current situation, Leo, we have the Fool. Okay, beautiful. In your partner's current situation, we have the Ten of Swords. Wow. In your past connection with this individual, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, and your present connection with this individual, the present connection with this individual. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. And then in your future outcome with this individual, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Ooh. Okay. I'm really attracted to all your face cards right now because we have the Page of Wands, we have the King of Swords, we have the Page of Cups, and we have the Knight of Swords, right? You have 3 different suits here. And you have 2 pages, a knight, and a king. So because you have 3 different suits, that essentially means you could be dealing with a fire sign, a water sign, or an air sign. So the fire signs would be Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. The water signs would be Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. And the swords, the air signs would be Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So you could have one of those placements. Your partner could have one of those placements. But those are the signs that are kind of coming up strongly. Also, I want to talk about the fact that we have 2 pages in reverse here. Pages, are kind of the youngest, right? They're the youngest, the least mature energies in the deck when it comes to face cards. They have a lot to learn. They have a lot to grow. And pages will sometimes talk about like students or people who are learning or something of that nature. And a lot of it has to do with communication, right? Communication and talking. So because we have a Page of Cups and a Page of Wands, both in reverse, this is talking about essentially, it's talking about communication. It's talking about I honestly want to say immature communication. It feels like there's an emotional component and a very passionate component to whatever's being communicated. And it feels like it's either physically not being communicated, like someone's almost hiding something, or someone's almost manipulating something in terms of what they're saying. It's like whatever this connection is and whatever is being communicated between you two is essentially not authentic, right? It's either not occurring at all or it's occurring, but what's being said isn't exactly what needs to be said, if that makes sense. And it feels a little bit heated, and it feels a little bit emotional, is what it feels like. It doesn't feel nice, I will say that. It does not feel nice. But I kind of want to go to you here. This is really interesting to me that we pulled the Ten of Swords and we pulled the Fool. We pulled the Fool for you, Leo, but for your partner, we pulled the Ten of Swords, right? So we have a 10, right, which indicates a completion, which indicates a closure. But we also pulled the Fool, which really indicates a new beginning, right? So it's kind of talking about an ending and a new beginning when it comes to this connection. I don't know why I'm feeling this way. We have the Ten of Swords, right, for your partner, which really talks about overkill, right? Overkill, overkill, overkill. It doesn't take 10 swords to kill someone. It takes 1 sword. Even with this red robe he has on here, it's just kind of almost feeling like blood. It's feeling very dark, very depressive, very, mentally destructive. It does not feel good. It feels incredibly, incredibly painful. So I feel like your partner almost is in an incredibly painful place. And honestly, part of me thinks you may have caused it. I don't know why I'm getting this, but I feel like you might have caused this pain. If this is a past relationship where there was some sort of divorce or some sort of breakup, it feels like you might have been the one to initiate it. is what it feels like. And I feel like there's a lot of pain surrounding this individual and surrounding this partnership. And I feel like you're almost like a little bit hesitant, a little bit worried, maybe by what you caused or maybe what's coming back in. And then with this Fool energy, we have Fool is very reminiscent of Aries. So you could have an Aries placement or your partner could have an Aries placement. But the Fool, really talks about brand new beginnings. This person is enthusiastic. This person is excited. They make me a little bit trepidatious. They're literally on this massive cliff with all of this massive wave. Feels very unstable, feels very unsure, but he literally doesn't even have a care in the world. He doesn't care. He's just so excited to start this new journey. He's taking the bare minimum and he's just going out and going for it. So it feels like you're starting like a new journey, like a new chapter, a new step. And it feels like it's almost like stepping away from this individual. So it feels like there was some sort of long-term relationship, whether it was a marriage or just a long-term commitment. Feels like there was children involved, probably for some of you. And I feel like there was some sort of divorce or some sort of breakup that maybe you initiated. And it feels like you're kind of going off on a new chapter right now, but it's almost like this person's coming back in. They're coming back in for some reason, and it has you very concerned and very worried is what it feels like. In the past connection, we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. You could have worked with this person. You could have gone to school with this person. But this does talk about progress. It talks about progression. It talks about productivity. It talks about, working and building and working and creating, right? And when it's in reverse, essentially there's no productivity occurring. There's nothing happening. It feels like this relationship in the past might have been going nowhere is kind of interesting. It feels like you two might have not, there was nothing coming from it. When relationships, right, we work together to produce something, right? To produce something that we maybe cannot produce ourselves, right? We need another individual to produce. So it feels like there's something that just was not being produced, or essentially you were not working well together, or there was just kind of little effort being put in on both sides. We kind of already addressed the Page of Cups, but in your future outcome, we have the Knight of Swords in reverse, right? This is someone who is coming and going, constantly coming and going, right? It's an energy of essentially, it's the fastest knight in the deck, so it's incredibly fast. It's like one moment it's there, the next moment it's gone. One moment's there, next moment it's gone. And, when it's in reverse, it really talks about essentially, sorry guys, my camera battery died, but it feels like the communication with this person is very short, very aggressive, very cold and cutting. Almost like these swords are like daggers, these swords, lol, almost like this communication is like swords or daggers. It feels very cold and harsh. This does not feel like a very friendly connection, I have to be honest. It feels like it's almost like I'm seeing five of swords, which is very cold-blooded conflict. It felt like it ended and did not come back on good terms is what it feels like. Last but not least, we have the Page of Wands with the Three of Cups, and we had the King of Swords here. This is interesting. Again, you could be dealing with a Libra, an Aquarius, or a Gemini. I'm seeing lots of swords, so I feel like someone has those placements somewhere. And this King of Swords, there could be communication here, this reconciliation, this coming back together could take place at some sort of social event, right? The Three of Cups really represents friends, really represents family, really represents going out and having fun and engaging with other people. It's kind of like a card of camaraderie, right? And so I am kind of almost getting the impression here that this reconciliation might take place at some sort of social event. You might bump into someone at some sort of social event, And it feels like with the Page of Wands in reverse, especially with the Page of Cups in reverse, it feels like there could be a fight, or there could be some words that are said here that are not so nice, is what I'm feeling. But Leo, I really hope this resonated for you. I do think this was an incredibly specific reading for someone. I don't think it's going to resonate with all of you, but I do think it will resonate with someone. But thank you so much for checking out your November 2020 love and relationship reading, and I will see you in December. Adios.